Dr. G, where I get to talk to some dynamic people. And today I have with me Dr. Evans. All right. So, Dr. Evans, introduce yourself.
Oh man, first off, it's beautiful to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. Dr. Robert Evans III, CEO and founder of Empowerment Counseling and Training Services. Um, that's me. I have private practice out of Waldorf, Maryland. See people in person, virtually, whatever you need as far as therapeutic services. I got you. I especially love couples counseling, but a lot of brothers came out, women, young people. Young people are a little challenging because I really need the parent support, and parents feel like they can just drop their kids off and get a magic pill. But nah, it don't work like that. I need your involvement. So I prefer people that really can do things on their own. So,
Okay.
young adults to middle age is my sweet spot. But, that's me.
Okay. So, what are you unapologetic about in this moment?
Oh man, in this moment, I would say I'm unapologetic about my flaws. I think that when I think of sometimes everybody's had those thoughts of, man, if I could just go back and cut this part out of my life, or if I could just go back and remove this person, if I could just X that person out, right? And every time I go back and do that, I realize that each time I do that, I realize I need each one of those events. I need each one of those negative events, one of those opportunities where it was adversity, pain, suffering, all of that stuff created who I am today. So I can't remove any of it. All
Yeah.
the people that I'm like, oh, I can't stand that person. I need that person to be a part of my story. So I'm unapologetic about all of that, all the stuff that I've needed to work on, all the mistakes I made, all the wrong turns I made. I appreciate all of it.
Okay. And so, is this what you wrote your book about?
So my book, Run to the Pain, is pretty much exactly what I wrote my book about, is understanding how adversity is actually essential to our lives. A lot of people run away from it because they feel like a lot of times it's attached to pain, it's attached to discomfort. It's like, man, I don't really want to face that because I don't want to deal with the pain of it. When in actuality, they're running away from the very gift that's going to change their lives and make them a better person. It's actually, what we need to do to grow. It's a part of our story. So I really want to help people to be able to embrace the adversity and run towards the pain, because what I found out is that any aspect of healing that we need to take place, anything traumatic, it all boils down to forgiveness. In order to forgive, you got to face that thing that hurts you. And sometimes we got to face ourselves. We got to forgive ourselves, right? So we got to run towards whatever it is in our lives that's painful so that we can fix it.
Oh yeah, I 100% agree. I've lived that part, and so I always tell people I'm that type of person that I thrive off of failure because it makes me greater and it makes me appreciate a way to go a little bit harder. So I don't look at failure as a bad thing. I actually
Right.
look at failure as leverage for my growth.
Ooh, but in actuality, you didn't fail.
Correct.
We got to reframe it, because you only failed if you stop. If,
That's true.
if you
That's true.
stop the journey, then that's failure. But if you fail and then you got back up and you said, well, let me try it a different way. Let me try it a different way. Let me try it a different way. Then you
Hmm.
actually haven't failed. You've actually learned and you've grown. So that's excellent.
Okay, so what can people get out of this book that's going to really inspire them to run towards the pain rather than away from it?
So, first off, the book is short. I wanted it to be something that is digestible really quickly, because I know a lot of times, especially with today's time, attention span, you jump from one thing to the next. You got Clubhouse, you got Instagram, you got Snapchat, you got Facebook. People are blah 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 blah. So you don't have a whole lot of time. So I want you to hit it and quit it. So I give people a lot of equations. I give people equations that are really, really sweet nuggets that if you digest it real quick, it'll change your life, because people are struggling with motivation right now. I just had a client, I was talking to him about motivation. I'm giving you quick solutions to the problems that people are facing right now. And then I talk about practical ways to learn how to forgive. You know, one of the things I did was I tried to find books on forgiveness. Many of the books talk about spirituality and faith. And some of the people that come to me, they're like, I'm not trying to hear all that, right? So I want to give people a practical way to learn how to forgive. It's steps. So I have steps to forgiveness. I talk about psychological, emotional, and physical pain and why those things are important to us and what those things mean to us so that we can learn how to reframe how we view it. I want you to reframe how you view pain so that you can learn how to incorporate it into your whole process.
So I'm going to challenge you on that.
Okay.
I am a firm believer, and I often talk about this just from personal experience, that apologies don't heal.
Woo.
I always say that. So what is your thought on apology, on just expecting an apology from somebody? Because that's a part of running to that pain. We as people naturally want an apology, knowing daggone well it's not going to do anything until we fix ourselves. So I'm wondering what your thoughts are on waiting for that apology and what people can understand about that apology and moving on.
Oh, wow, man, that's so good. I'm glad you asked that. Man, that's good. That set me up nice. We didn't practice this. You just threw the alley-oop to me.
Yes. Yes. So,
Man, you know what you just said, people are running towards an apology. They're running towards, that means that their forgiveness is attached to the other person. And I want people to know that your forgiveness has nothing to do with the other person. Your forgiveness is not about seeking an apology. You forgive a person because that's letting you off the hook. This is about your growth. So sometimes we might not get an apology. I talk about in the book that apology without a plan means absolutely nothing.
that part.
You see what I'm saying? Like, don't give me an apology unless you have a plan, so that's not going to ever happen again. So when it comes to healing, though, when it comes to forgiveness, it's about understanding who you need to forgive. So we talk about that. The other thing is I have a workbook called The Pain Pill that's also going to be released with the book because I want people to actually go through these steps and actually walk through these things in your life so you can learn how to do it. So all of the stuff that I have in the book, I have in the workbook. But so anyway, about forgiveness, you got to understand who you need to forgive. Sometimes you got to forgive yourself. But if you're forgiving another person, I talk about understanding the reason why you need to forgive that person, right? Because it's about releasing yourself. So even if you never get an apology, you can forgive because forgiveness doesn't let a person off the hook for what they did. Forgiveness has nothing to do with accountability. People get it all twisted up. They're like, how can that person forgive him? Or how can they always, black people always get it. Why do black people were so quick to forgive? Excuse me, they're forgiving for them. That don't have nothing to do with holding a person accountable. I can still want a person to go to jail and I can forgive you, right? It's about releasing negative energy. So I can release a negative energy from you, even if you don't apologize, because that's for me. That's not for you. If you don't apologize, you the one got to live with that.
Yeah.
I don't got to live with that. That's on you. People have wrong expectations.
That's very true. See that part. Look at there.
I
I appreciate that thought.
had to dunk that for you because you don't be throwing no alley-oop. Some more you gonna challenge.
Well, I'm just saying because because the of what your book talked about and everything that you was talking about. Because I'm such a mental health advocate. I really advocate and push for the importance that people should go to therapy, and how taboo it was many, many, many years ago, where we've really advanced forward with people wanting it now, and the availability to it now is very different, especially since COVID, because now people have to deal with themselves. So your book is so timely because people are still learning how to deal with themselves and needing these coping mechanisms and learn behavior changes that's going to enhance their life, because now they have to face themselves and
Absolutely.
their circumstance. So I do believe this book is extremely timely. Is it available yet, or is it coming out? What's the deal, so that we can start healing these people?
Man, I can't wait. You know, I have a publicist now who has got my back, and he's like, let's do this. So, You know, it's really about getting the putting the right machine behind it. You know, I could have easily just self-published, and that's what I was originally going to do. But now I'm hopefully going to, you know, get a book deal. If that doesn't happen, then I will self-publish. But this year it's going to be out one way or another, right? Because it needs to get out. And I've been sitting there anxious. It's been done since August, and I'm really trying to follow the steps in this book. Because I wrote the book, now I got to follow the steps. Like, okay, run towards the pain, understand the adversity, all of this adversity. I got so much testimony attached to why it's not released yet. So I'm just trusting the process, and I absolutely believe that once it's released, it'll be right on time.
Okay, so we're gonna have to bring you back once it's out there, so that way we can let the world know it's time to heal
Here we
and
go.
get that pain pill.
Here we go. Absolutely. That's going to be the one though, because
Yeah.
that's where the rubber is going to meet the road. People are going to actually have to put pen to paper and make it happen.
Okay, so in the interim, how can people connect with you? How can people engage with you, find you if they want therapy from you? You know, give us the goods.
Okay, so the website is empowertoday.net. I'm on all social media platforms at Empower All Day. So Instagram, you know, Facebook, all of that stuff. Email Dr. Evans at empowertoday.net. And you know, right now I'm only accepting Blue Cross, Care First, Blue Cross, and self-pay. You know, that's it. That's all.
Okay. Well, you know what? Everybody stay tuned. Follow because I'm sure you're going to drop when you drop this book in your social media. So I have to
Absolutely.
also, I know your publicist, so I know he'll cycle you back.
Yeah,
Make sure
absolutely.
that we get this information out there because I really do think that we are in a place of healing. So
Absolutely.
I'm wishing you very well on your publishing journey, but don't
Thank
wait
you.
because this is a gift.
Absolutely.
So for all of you, continue to tune in, and I appreciate you for coming to hang out with me. And that was your unapologetic moment with Dr. G.